Welcome friends, in this video we're going to learn about the subqueries, and in this first one we're going to learn how it can be used to basically add a column to our output. So let's take a look at what I mean here in a more concrete way. So imagine something as simple as this: add a column to show the color of our product. So in AdventureWorks database, remember we have some tables. Let's take a look at what I mean here for a second. So in production.product, let me expand that. We have a lot of detail on products. So finished goods flag, the color, for example, you see, weight, and so on. So we have details about products. And we have specifically a column named color. So that's a bit of detail. Now remember in sales order, so down below in this sales order detail table, we have the details about the orders here, but we also have this product ID, as you can see. So we can link the two in some fashion because of that relationship. So let's do that now, using a subquery as an example. So I will say the following now. I'll say select sales, that's sales order ID. I'm going to begin with that, so just get the table first. And then I will say as order details. So all I'm doing now is just grabbing the table and then aliasing it as order details to write less. So I don't have to keep writing this long thing here every time. And then put the from in front of it. And after that, we can list our columns, the ones that we want to grab. So first, perhaps we can grab the following. I'll say here sales order ID, comma, product ID. And then I want to get the color. Well, the color, remember, is not available in the order details table, or the sales order detail more exactly. Remember, order details is just an alias for this quantity right here. It represents the same thing. So what we can do to get it, to bring it into our query here, is bring it in the form of a subquery. I'm going to say select, and you put that usually, as you can see, within matching parentheses. And then I'm going to say here color from production.product. So I'm selecting the color column essentially from the product table. So remember, production is the schema, product is the table. So I'm selecting the color column from there. And because this bit here, again, this production.product is so long, I'm going to alias that as follows. I'm going to say as prod details, short for product details. And I want to make sure that this happens where the product IDs are matched as an example. So take a look here. I'm going to type the next line here. I'm breaking this up over multiple lines to see it more clearly. Then I will say where, and then you will say order details dot product ID equals prod details dot product ID. Well, in any case, as you can see, it's still a fair amount of writing. Let me fit this into a single screen. And let me close this now. So it looks as shown here. So this quantity, let me focus on it for a second. This quantity right here functions basically as a new column. And I know that because take a look. Remember, it says select sales order ID, product ID, comma. So then usually what you place after that is another field, correct? In this particular form, the field takes the form of a subquery. But it is still just a field essentially, a column that you can add to your table output. That's all it is. And because it does function essentially as a field, as a column, you can alias it as an example. What I'm going to do is move this back up there nicely. Perhaps pause the video if you have to look at it a little bit. So it's a disguised fancy form for a field. And remember, because this says select color from product table, you can alias this entire thing as color and not something else. So I'm going to say as color. All right, let's give it a go here. So highlight everything, hit execute, and what do we have down below? Well, you've got the sales order ID, you've got the product ID as an example, and you have the color. All the way down. Okay, let me pull this down. There you go. So this is an example of a subquery functioning basically as a field. And if you take the where here and you disable that line, let's take a look what will happen in this particular case. I'll just disable it by commenting it out, and it looks as shown here, and then put another closing parentheses after prod details like that. Okay, give this a go here and execute. And as you can see, it doesn't work. So subquery return more than one value. This is not permitted when a subquery follows one of those symbols, or when the subquery is used as an expression. So again, in our particular case, you can't just have all of this. When you stick in the where, that pins it down in the following sense. You have a logical condition that connects the product ID column from the order details table to the product ID column in the product details table. So you've got a logical condition that establishes the connection between the two tables. All right, friends, that is it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next one.